burning bush. The biblical exodus from Egypt is celebrated as the Jewish holiday known as Passover. Moses tells the Israelites to slaughter a lamb, a ram, or a sheep, and mark their doorways of their houses with the blood of the lamb, forming a shield or a wrath shield. And they did this so that the angel or the destroyer god will pass over them, but they will kill all the rest of the children, or the goy, or the sheeple. So it's a child sacrifice to the Egyptian god Amun-Ra, just like Abraham, because we're really talking about the sun, ram, and the house of Aries. And this is why we're talking about the house, because we're talking about the house of the zodiac from the red blood of Mars, Aries. And they still sacrifice the sheep of El, or the sheeple, to this very day, which came from the wings of the air and the god of fire. And who exactly are the owners that own us? The Germanic Jews, like the Queen of England and the Rothschilds. And so the Rothschilds, or the Red Childs of Sacrifice, take their name from the slaughtered lamb, which is us. So now you know the real truth of the Rothschild dynasty and why they have the red shield above the doorway, which is a bullshit story, because the truth is that's the blood of the sheep, the lamb, the ram. Because we're just the sheep of El. And that's exactly why this elite Illuminati family always shows the ram or the lamb of sacrifice. And of course, the Red Childs of Sacrifice produce wine. And they own a winery called Chateau Mouton. And Mouton is French for the sheep, the ram, the lamb of sacrifice. Exactly like the ancient Hebrew sacrifices to the god Amun-Ra, or Amen. And this is why the fertility of the Fraternal Order of the Freemasons is the symbol of the sexagram. And it's the same story with the Freemasons. They date their history back to the patriarch of Hiram Abiff, which is actually the High Ram, as in the High Ram from the abyss. And that's why the Jewish Hebrew Israelites worship in a synagogue, which is the sin of Gog, the moon. And they assemble or assemble in a synagogue to worship the God Yahweh. And in order to be called a synagogue, it must assemble a minyan, which is the Hebrew Yod, or 10. The Hebrew Jewish calendar is based 100% on the lunar solar calendar, which is the sun and the moon. And that's why the dates of the holidays are always changing, because they are changing with the cycles of the moon, the God, their God, Yah. And notice the Jews light the 7 or 9 candles of the menorah, which is the Min Ra. So now you know why it's called a seminary. So take notice that the Hebrew calendar basically forms a cross to the new year that we use. And so the Hebrews use the vernal and the autumnal equinoxes. So the first month of the Hebrew calendar begins in springtime, which is when things begin to spring to life and flower and blossom. And on the complete opposite side of the wheel is the 7th month, the month of September, the actual month of the new year. September marks the beginning of death, when things begin to fall, the start of winter, and the ember months, which is known as the season of autumn. And autumn is named after Atum-Ra, the Egyptian god, the creator god, the complete one, known as the finisher. He returns to the black chaos of the abyss and starts the creative cycle all over again. So Atum Ra will reign over the winter months until the new year of Nisan, the springtime of March. And then he will be Amun Ra. So Amun Ra is the spring lamb of March, and Atum Ra is the beginning of autumn, or the Libra, the scales of judgment before you go to the underworld. So they would weigh your heart when you die with the ostrich feather of truth, which came from Ma'at, or Ma'e. She is the Egyptian goddess of truth, law, and order. And this is exactly where we get our Lady of Justice, or Just Ice, which is the goddess or the god of ice sitting on the throne, Isis. And notice that they all hold the staff of power, which is called an ox goad, which gives us the Hebrew lamd, or El, which is the bull god. In Egyptian hieroglyphics, it's known as the was, and it's made from the staff of the bull penis. And that's why the father bull, or the pope, issues a papal bull, which is a bull penis. And that's why they're holding the penis of the bull, which is the monument of Min, the moon fertility god. And that's why at the Israel Supreme Court, you'll find the Illuminati, sex magic, and the obelisk, or the bull penis. And it's called a penis, or a pin ice. And that's why the Washington Monument is shaped like a bull penis, not a human penis. And you'll find the same bull penis at a church. The fire fertility of the spire. And that's why they show you the slit of the water of the woman, and they show the obelisk reflecting into the pool, a sex magic ritual, which is an image of the penis piercing the waters of the woman. And that's why the monument of San Jacinto actually means jack into, which is sex magic. And that's exactly why around the world they shoot the fireworks around the obelisks, representing the sex fertility of the orgasm.